August 23, 1978. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A baby boy was born into a family where basketball was not just a game, it was everything.
50%. Whoa! From the other county, and Kobe slaps him on the behind.
His father played in the NBA. His uncles played professionally. The sound of a bouncing ball was the first sound he ever learned to love. They named him Kobe Bryant. And nobody, not one single person in that delivery room, could have imagined what this child was going to do to the world. But before all of that, before the championships, before the 81 points, before the Black Mamba, before the legend, there was a boy who grew up in a foreign country where nobody spoke his language. A boy who ate his lunch alone every single day for 4 years of high school. A boy that not one single college in America wanted. A boy who threw 4 air balls in a playoff game while an entire arena laughed at him. This is that boy's story. This is the story of what happened before the world knew his name. This is the story of how rejection, loneliness, and obsession built the most ferociously competitive basketball player who ever lived. Kobe Bryant was 6 years old when his world was turned upside down. His father, Joe Bryant, known in basketball circles as Jelly Bean, had finished his NBA career. The money was running low. The opportunities in America were closing. So Joe Bryant did what many professional basketball players did when their NBA dream ended. He packed up his family and moved to Europe to keep playing. The destination was Italy, and just like that, overnight, without warning, without any say in the matter, Kobe Bryant became a little black American child in a small Italian city where nobody looked like him, nobody spoke his language, and nobody had ever heard of the NBA. He was 6 years old. He did not speak Italian. He did not understand the culture. He did not know a single person. And his father, the man who was supposed to be his basketball hero, his role model, his guide, was busy playing games in a foreign league, trying to hold his career together. Kobe Bryant was, in every meaningful sense of the word, alone. In Italy, basketball did not exist the way it existed in America. The other children in his neighborhood played football, what Americans call soccer. They ran through the streets kicking a ball that Kobe had no interest in. Kobe Bryant had one interest, one obsession, one thing that made sense to him in a world that otherwise made no sense at all: a basketball. While the Italian children played outside together, Kobe was in empty gymnasiums. While the other kids laughed and made memories, Kobe was studying VHS tapes of NBA games that his grandfather mailed from America, watching them over and over and over again, frame by frame, studying footwork, studying hand positions, studying the way a player's body moved before a jump shot. He had no coach, he had no teammates, he had no opponent, he had just himself and a basketball and 7 years of uninterrupted, unsupervised, obsessive practice. 7 years. For most children, that kind of isolation would have been damaging. For Kobe Bryant, it was the greatest education he ever received. There is something that happens to certain people when they are left alone with the thing they love most, something that cannot happen in a crowd, something that cannot happen when there are teammates to rely on, coaches to guide, fans to perform for. When it is just you and the thing, when there is no audience, no applause, no external reward, you discover very quickly whether you actually love it or whether you love what it gives you. Kobe Bryant discovered that he loved basketball itself. Not the crowd, not the attention, not the glory. The game, the mechanics of it, the geometry, the endlessly complex puzzle of how a human body could move through space and time and put a ball through a hoop with more precision than anyone who had ever lived. That discovery, made in empty Italian gymnasiums by a lonely American boy, was the beginning of everything. When Kobe Bryant stepped back onto American soil at 13 years old, he was not the boy who had left. He was something nobody in American basketball had ever encountered before. He was ready. Lower Merion High School, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, 1991. Kobe Bryant walked through the doors of his new high school and discovered something that nobody had warned him about. He was still the outsider. He had an Italian accent that American teenagers found strange. He made cultural references that nobody understood. He talked about Italian football clubs and Italian food and Italian customs that meant nothing to kids who had grown up in suburban Pennsylvania. He was too Italian for America. And during those 7 years abroad, he had become too American for Italy. He belonged to neither world. He was suspended between two identities, fully owned by neither. But there was something else about Kobe Bryant that set him apart from every other teenager at Lower Merion High School. Something that was not about Italy or America or accents or cultural references. It was the intensity. While other teenagers were thinking about music and relationships and weekend plans, Kobe Bryant was thinking about basketball, only basketball, always basketball. The footwork of a specific post move, the angle of a specific entry pass, whether his left hand was as strong as his right. That level of obsession in a 16-year-old is unsettling to the people around it. It creates distance. It signals to everyone in the room that this person is not quite here, that part of them is always somewhere else, somewhere the rest of us cannot reach. Every single day at Lower Merion High School, Kobe Bryant ate his lunch alone. Not occasionally, not sometimes, every single day. His former teammates have confirmed it. His coaches have spoken about it. Kobe himself acknowledged it in interviews in the final years of his life. The boy who would one day fill the Staples Center with 20,000 screaming fans sat alone in a high school cafeteria because nobody wanted to sit with him. And here is what Kobe did with that loneliness. He used it, not as an excuse, not as a wound to show people. He used it as fuel, as motivation, as another reason to be in the gymnasium at 5 a.m. when every other player was still asleep, as another reason to still be shooting at 9 p.m. when the janitors were turning off the lights. Every empty chair at that lunch table became another hour of work. Every person who did not sit with him became another layer of hunger. Every moment of social rejection became another brick in the foundation of an obsession that would eventually terrify professional basketball players who had been in the league for a decade. Coach Greg Downer, that is the name of the man who coached Kobe Bryant at Lower Merion. And Greg Downer has told one story more than any other in the years since Kobe became famous. Practice started at 5 a.m. Every morning at 5 a.m., Coach Downer or one of his assistants would arrive at the gymnasium to open it up and begin setting up for the session. And every morning, without exception, without fail, for 4 straight years, Kobe Bryant was already there, already in his kit, already sweating, already working on something, a shot, a move, a drill he had invented himself the night before, not just arriving early, fully into practice already, as if he had never left. When the official practice session ended and every other player went home to their families and their dinners and their homework, Kobe stayed for hours, until the building closed. Sometimes, Coach Downer has said, he had to physically ask Kobe to leave because it was time to lock up. 4 years, every single day, first in, last out, no exceptions. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. Wilt Chamberlain, one of the most dominant players in the history of basketball. A man who scored 100 points in a single NBA game. A man who averaged 50 points per game for an entire season. And the 17-year-old boy eating his lunch alone broke his high school record. And still, nobody wanted him. His senior year at Lower Merion, Kobe Bryant was doing things on a basketball court that high school players simply did not do. He was scoring 40 points against grown men. He was playing with a sophistication, a technical mastery of post moves, footwork, and shot selection that college players spent years trying to develop. And the college programs looked at him and said, no. LaSalle University offered him a spot, a small local school. The kind of offer that says, we see something here, but we are not sure it is worth a full commitment. Not Duke, not Kentucky, not North Carolina, not one of the powerhouse programs that should have been lining up outside his door. The system could not process what it was seeing because the system had a checklist. The right tournaments, the right coaches, the right networks, the right pedigree. Kobe Bryant, the Italian-accented, lunch-alone-eating, record-breaking teenager from Lower Merion, did not fit the checklist. So the system said no, and Kobe Bryant looked at the system and said no back. He declared for the 1996 NBA draft. Straight out of high school, no college, no transition period, no safety net. He was 17 years old. His principal tried to talk him out of it. His guidance counselor expressed concern. Basketball analysts questioned whether he was ready, whether he was being arrogant, whether he was making the biggest mistake of his young life. Kobe Bryant heard all of it. He considered none of it. Because here's the thing about a person who has spent 7 years alone in Italian gymnasiums and 4 years in a high school cafeteria where nobody sat with him. A person like that does not make decisions based on what other people think. A person like that has learned, through years of necessary and painful practice, to trust only one voice, their own. Before the draft, teams invited prospects to private individual workouts, a chance to see a player in person before committing a pick. Kobe Bryant requested a workout with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers sent their starting center, a grown professional NBA player, to work out against this 17-year-old boy from suburban Pennsylvania. What happened in that gym has been told and retold by everyone who was there. Kobe Bryant played the Lakers center one-on-one, and he did not just compete, he did not just hold his own. He was better, demonstrably, undeniably, completely better than a professional NBA player. At 17 years old, Lakers general manager Jerry West, a man who played 13 seasons in the NBA, a man whose silhouette is literally the logo of the league, a man who had seen every great player of his generation up close, watched that workout and reportedly said words to the effect of, "I do not care what it costs. We're getting this kid the boy nobody wanted." Selected in the first round of the NBA draft, 17 years old, Los Angeles, California, 1996. Kobe Bryant arrived as an 18-year-old in a city he barely knew to play for a team that had not chosen him, alongside teammates who had not asked for him. He lived alone in an apartment. He knew almost nobody. The city was enormous and unfamiliar and completely indifferent to the lonely teenager who had just arrived to change it. In the Lakers' locker room, the reception was cold. The veterans had built a culture, built relationships, built a hierarchy. And here was a teenager, a kid who had skipped college, who had never played a single minute of professional basketball, who walked into their locker room with a quiet confidence that the older players read as arrogance. They did not pass him the ball in practice. They froze him out of conversations. They made it clear through every small signal available to men in a professional locker room that he was not welcome. Italy, Lower Merion, Los Angeles, 3 different countries, 3 different stages of life. The same experience. The outsider, the one who does not belong, the one eating alone. January 17, 1997, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Utah Jazz, a playoff game. The arena packed and loud and electric. Late in the game with the score tied, the ball ends up in the hands of an 18-year-old Kobe Bryant. He shoots, air ball. He gets the ball again, air ball, again, air ball, again, air ball. 4 consecutive air balls in the clutch of a playoff game. Not off the rim, not close, complete misses. The Utah Jazz crowd erupted with laughter and chanting. Sports commentators questioned everything. The basketball world shook its head. This is what happens when you skip college, they said. This is what happens when a teenager thinks he belongs in the NBA. Kobe Bryant went back to the hotel that night. He could not sleep, so he went to the gym alone, in the middle of the night, in an empty arena in Utah. After the most humiliating moment of his professional life, he shot free throws for 3 hours, 1,000 shots, before anyone else arrived every morning, every day, all summer, not because someone told him to, not because the coach was watching, because 4 air balls in Utah had lit something inside him that simply could not be extinguished by rest. In those early lonely years in Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant did something that very few people in the world have ever done. He built a second version of himself, a version that could not be touched by rejection, a version that felt no loneliness, no humiliation, no self-doubt, a version that existed for one purpose and one purpose only, to be the greatest basketball player who ever lived. He named it after a snake, the black mamba, one of the most lethal creatures on Earth. Precise, cold, merciless, perfectly engineered to strike without hesitation and without failure. Kobe Bryant explained the concept in interviews later in his career. When the situation became critical, when the game was on the line, when his teammates needed someone to take the shot that everybody else was afraid to take, he would stop being Kobe. Kobe was the boy from Lower Merion. Kobe had feelings. Kobe could be hurt. The Black Mamba could not be hurt. The Black Mamba had no feelings about the Utah crowd, no feelings about the teammates who would not pass him the ball, no feelings about the scouts who ignored him and the colleges that did not want him. The Black Mamba had only one feeling: hunger. The world saw Kobe Bryant score 81 points in a single NBA game, the second highest individual scoring performance in NBA history. The world saw him win 5 championships. The world saw him win 2 Olympic gold medals for the United States. The world saw him win 2 Olympic gold medals for the United States. The world did not see the 4 a.m. alarm clock. The world did not see the empty gymnasium before sunrise, the ice baths at midnight, the film sessions that stretched until 2 or 3 in the morning, the thousands of shots taken in complete silence with no audience and no applause and no one watching. NBA trainer Tim Grover, who also trained Michael Jordan and worked with many of the greatest players of the modern era, has spoken publicly about what it was like to work with Kobe. He described a player who called him at 3 a.m. to request a training session, who played through fractures, who continued competing through infections that would have hospitalized ordinary people, who treated every rest day not as recovery but as time wasted. In the 2013 season, Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles tendon during a game. He walked to the free throw line on a torn Achilles and made both free throws. Then he left the court. That is not toughness. That is something else entirely. Something that has no clean word in the English language. The boy nobody wanted became the player everybody feared. People talk about the Mamba mentality as if it is a motivational poster, as if it is something you can buy in a book or absorb in a 10-minute video. Kobe Bryant himself corrected this misunderstanding in the years before his death. The Mamba mentality, he said, is not about being aggressive. It is not about being fearless. It is not about trash talking or chest beating or any of the external performances of confidence. It is about one thing: the relentless, daily, private, unwitnessed pursuit of mastery. Not the pursuit of victory, not the pursuit of recognition, the pursuit of mastery. The obsessive, never satisfied, always reaching commitment to being better today than you were yesterday, with no audience and no reward other than the knowledge that you gave everything you had. It was built in empty Italian gymnasiums. It was forged in high school cafeterias where nobody sat with him. It was sharpened on those 4 air balls in Utah and hardened in those 3 a.m. training sessions in Los Angeles. It was never about talent. Kobe Bryant was not the most naturally talented player of his generation. He was the most committed, the most relentless, the most willing to be uncomfortable, to be alone, to be the last one in the building and the first one back. That is the Mamba mentality, not a feeling, a decision made every single day. Before anyone else woke up, Kobe Bryant grew up without a basketball infrastructure around him. No team, no coach pushing him, no American basketball culture, no English language for 7 formative years. His environment gave him almost nothing that should have produced an NBA champion. He became one anyway. Your circumstances are real, the obstacles in front of you are real, but they are where you begin. They are not where you have to end. Every moment Kobe spent alone, in Italy, at that lunch table in those 3 a.m. gyms, was teaching him something that could not have been learned in a crowd: self-reliance. The ability to generate your own motivation when no one else is watching or encouraging. The discovery of what you truly love rather than what you perform loving for an audience. If you are in a lonely season right now, if you feel overlooked or misunderstood or out of place, pay attention. That loneliness is not punishment. It might be your classroom, not motivation, not inspiration, not a speech or a book or a mentor. The work, every day, in private, before anyone arrives and after everyone leaves. That is the only answer Kobe Bryant ever found. And in 20 years of searching, it was the only answer he ever needed. The scouts who ignored him were wrong. The colleges who rejected him were wrong. The crowd in Utah was wrong. The teammates who would not pass him the ball were wrong. Every single one of them was wrong. And Kobe Bryant did not waste 1 second trying to convince them. He simply went to work and let 20 years of championships do the convincing for him. What people project onto you, what ceiling they decide you have, what worth they assign you, none of that is your responsibility. None of that needs to live in your head. Your only job is to see yourself clearly and then get to work. On January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. He was 41 years old. His daughter Jana was with him. 7 others died that day too. The world stopped. Not just the basketball world, the entire world. Because what died on that hillside in California was not just a basketball player. What died was a symbol of what human will looks like when it is completely, unconditionally, without reservation unleashed. And what lived on, what will always live on, is the story. The story of a 6-year-old boy in an Italian city where nobody spoke his language, sitting in an empty gymnasium, shooting free throws alone. The story of a teenager eating his lunch alone every day for 4 years, not shrinking, growing. The story of an 18-year-old kid throwing 4 air balls in a playoff game and walking to an empty gym at midnight to shoot free throws until his hands bled. That is the story, not the 81 points, not the 5 rings, not the MVP awards, the empty gymnasium, the lonely lunch table, the 4 air balls, the 5 a.m. alarm clock that went off every single day for 20 years, whether the world was watching or not. You were not born into the right family. You did not grow up in the right place. Nobody is sitting with you at your table right now. Good. Now you know exactly where you need to be. Get to work.